Boys and girls, another episode of the Indian Larry Chopper, Indian Chief Clone Project thingamajiggy I'm working on. The transmission tower. We didn't get to this last episode, but we made an intake manifold. So how bad could it be? So let's make this happen. Let's make this work. Let's go on over to the little bench I have set up. The transmission nook, if you will. All right, so these are all the bits and pieces I've got to work with. And these are some of the brand new parts I got from Jerry Gear. These here. Like I said, $125 for this bell crank. I'm feeling a little like I got date raped on that. But hey, you know how it is, antique bikes. So the way this worked originally was this shaft here had these two bushings on it, okay? And they went something sort of kind of like that. Now these things are a little, I gotta clean this stuff up yet, so I'm not gonna put things on all the way. And there's a keyway cut out in here that a pin, which is now scrap steel, went through there and rested in that slot to hold this in place. And then this would go back and forth through this hole here. And that catches in here like so. Let me get that. And that's how it would shift the transmission. So that all being said, and there was this end cap piece too went on there like so. And that kind of sat right in there like that. You can see how that shoulder catches the inside there. And these other bushings go on the shaft like so, like that there, and here. And with the advent of this piece residing in here, this shaft isn't going anywhere, irregardless of how those bushings are shouldered. I think that's more to keep the bushings in place. And so this shaft would be on here like this, right? And you can see the slot right where it's got to be. And then over here on this side, this would be on the cam side of the bike. This bell crank would go and it would hook up to your gas tank shift linkage. So that's how that all went. And I always wondered how Larry did this because he had a jockey shift on the bike. So the only way I can come up with is he had this turned around. Obviously the shoulder got machined off. So we'll take that off there. And this is on the bike like so, with these same bushings in place, but he must have machined a new slot for this arm to go inside. You guys playing along at home, you keeping up? And then this went on here, on this end, and he must have cut this back and he made the jockey shift out of this. Now I'll show you a picture real quick so you'll understand. So you can see right here, that's the jockey shift. I'll get it in as best I can. And that's what we have to recreate out of this ensemble of bits and pieces here. So I've got this spacer. Let me just rip these open. This spacer goes in the back of this piece here. So that sets off the transmission this way here on that shaft. And I've got a couple of those brand new bushings that go on the inside here. And this end cap piece, where'd it go? Right here. This I'm just going to, machine that off and shove it in as is, and maybe I'll knurl this surface or something, or I'll put a set screw through this, like right through the top. Just put a little set screw, and I can put a little groove in this, and that'll keep it from going anywhere. It'll be a lot easier than trying to machine a groove in here for me with the tools I have on hand. So that being said, I still gotta, clean this up, machine some stuff, finish my coffee, and I still got to get the, let me put this down quick. On top of the transmission, like I said in the last episode, I don't know how you break this giant, thick tower off of this base, but some genius out there did it, and maybe, it could have been, I don't know, anything. 12-pound sledgehammer, maybe they were swinging the motor and it broke, I have no idea. But I got to get the old base off the transmission. And that's kind of irrelevant right now. What we got to do is we got to machine some of this stuff, measure, make sure things fit right. And I'm more interested in getting that executed right now. gang, this is how it would look on the bike. Obviously without this cap in place. But I think that'll fit fine on the end where I shaved off that shoulder. These new bushings in the middle, I got my spacer and the bell crank over here, and it seems to be okay. And there is the old slat that was machined in there. Now, I see as Larry sits on his bike, the jockey shift is like right there. So if I'm going to maintain this piece here and weld to it, I'm going to have to get this to be about right. So the one slat would be like this. The one I machined is going to have to be not exactly on the other side, maybe a little off. Otherwise, this is going to go off too far to the side. You can see that. So I got to figure all this out. Once I get that done, we're going to mark this shaft, and we're going to go to the milling machine and put our little slat in there. All right, man, it's in there good. And I got my 2 new bushings. I kept the old end cap, the bell crank. She works fine. So let's button this up. All right, as I'm putting this thing back on and tightening it up, I'm thinking to myself, what could possibly send this up like that? Well, I'm taking a guess by looking at this. It's a little bit bent, this fork, that when that piece on the main shaft, the nut looks like, came back and it got between some gears, it kicked this and pop, blew the top of the training tower right off. So maybe that's what happened. I got no idea. But hey, we got a new training tower on here now, and I want to move around to the other side. I'm going to take a look at that bell crank and see what we can do to make up the jockey shift handle. Oh, there you go, guys. $125, and I just cut this off. That's why they call them choppers, baby. Seeing flashbulb dots. I should have worn sunglasses. This is the little shot ball I got from the metal supply. It was like $2.75, just under $3 with tax. And it's 1 9/16. At what I can best gather is I was figuring somewhere between 1.5 inches and 1 3/4 by this old Ford shift knob I had is what Larry used. And by trying to scale what was going on in the photos. I got 2 good pictures, a good broadside view, and one good one of Larry sitting on the bike I'll show you. And it's not perfectly straight, it's kind of all like, you know how Larry did that crazy stuff? It's very slightly like that. You know, I'm trying to duplicate the best I can, and I know that this ball sits right about at the frame rail height here, just like maybe a skosh below it. So I'm going to have to cut this and maybe just keep cutting it down a little bit until this sits right. Now I'm going to get this in the lathe. Now I'm going to drill a hole in here if I can without chewing up a drill bit, so I can just slide it in, and this gets welded right to that jockey arm. It's part of the shifter. So while we let that cool off, I guess we'll put the magazine someplace safe, have a Twizzler, and put a hole in this. All right, this is the shot ball, whatever you want to call it, inch 9/16. I guess back in the old days, 1700s, they called it grape shot, I guess. I don't know. It's got some oomph to it. It would hurt like hell if it came flying at you. I was thinking about giving it to my cats to play with because they'd be like, oh man. And we're going to chuck it up in the three-head jaw. And I guess this is something that we've all avoided in life, having a ball in a vise. I'm sure I got to do some tweaking and stuff. I got to grab my magazine again and look at it. There's I got to check the throw on this. I got to leave it in steel for a while so I can keep trying it in all the gears and whatnot. So, but she seems like she's going to tap the frame back there, so I should probably take this and bend it in a little bit. Maybe cut a ½ inch off the top, and now drop the ball down a little bit lower. So, I gotta tweak it and mess with it, and when I get it just about right, we'll take it off, we'll sand this out, and we'll weld the ball on. We got our arm all cleaned up now, just a matter of welding that solid shot ball on the end. And I'll dress off those welds, and that'll pretty much button this up, and I'll bolt it onto the transmission tower, and we'll take a peek at it and see how she looks. I love these little finger sanders, man. Great deal. That's still hot, man, from me welding on it, but give you guys a peek see. I think that looks pretty sexy. Maybe I'll go ahead and dress off the discoloration there. And I'll do that. We'll head on over to the bike. We'll bolt this bad boy on. That's it. And looks pretty good because of that nut inside on the main shaft of the transmission. She doesn't shift so easy, and I can't put the clutch in and out, so I'm not going to try and force it through the gears, but yeah, it's going to be the right thing. So, man, every time I do a little something, the carburetor, the intake, now this, every little something makes it more and more Larry's bike, man. And feeling really good about that. Let me show you the magazine pictures, and we'll compare it to what I made. I don't know if you guys can really make out the shifter arm. I got this thing close to the camera. But take a look at that the best you can, and I'll show you what we got. Now, this is about the best angle I can get it to show you, like the magazine. Move that up a little for you. There you go. That's about where it was in the magazine, right there in gear. And then there's this picture of Larry on the bike, and there we go. Oh, there we are. You can see that shifter there like that. You know, his leg just misses it. And here's me sitting on the bike, and I don't have a seat on here, so my leg should maybe be up a little higher. But that's about right. Right there. I think this would be a lot easier if I had a clutch pedal on this thing. There we go, that's neutral right there. But, hey man, like I said, every time I add a little something, it becomes Larry's bike more and more and more. And I'm really excited about that. I think it looks good. It's going to look a lot better chrome plated. And yeah, bike's looking good, man. Really liking it. That is totally the right thing. And like I say, I couldn't be more happier with it. I just got to decide what I'm going to do next, you know? I do know that, like I always say, I got to split this gas tank, make this side gasoline and the other side oil, run oil lines, bolt the oil pump on the bike, get the magneto in there. The exhaust has got to get made to go around the oil pump and stuff. One thing I would like to do, I think, is Larry had studs. These are bolts holding the heads down, and Larry had studs with taller octagon steel made his head bolts. So I should probably make up a batch of those. And he had a motor mount here, right in the middle. I should probably get that motor mount made also. So I don't know, one of those couple of things in the next episode. I'll see, you know, what kind of money we got, because I may have to go buy stuff. And it may be cheaper just to buy the octagon steel to make all these studs and everything. So, we'll see. You'll find out next episode. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please subscribe if you can. I'm always going to tell you that. I think a bug just flew up my nose. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Subscribe, click that bell button. You'll always get a notification of when I post a new video. Check out my web store, spritzbyfritz.com. Pick up a little something. That's a great way to support. Always let the ads run through if you can, because I get a couple of pennies for that. And for you guys that are real diehard fans, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You guys are the Patreon supporters. That's patreon.com/spritzbyfritz. You guys are the real backbone of this, and I really, you know, couldn't bring these videos to you if it wasn't for you guys. And thank you very much. I appreciate it. I guess that's it for now, and I'll catch you guys next episode. Thanks for watching. All right, man, I love these little finger sander deals. It's still fucking hot. Gotta redo that now.